you're taking a tour specifically because it's run by hostel and you think they're going to be more solo people staying at hostels, I would say that you might still not get the level of connection that you're looking for. Welcome to the Travel Not to Escape podcast. I'm your host, Jolene on the Go, solo female traveler and creative entrepreneur. Think of me as your skydive instructor, empowering you to take the leap into solo travel to push past your fears and transform your life. Join me every Tuesday as we explore the world of solo travel with purpose and discover how you can use it for your personal transformation, learn how to make meaningful connections around the world, and reignite your spirit of play. We aren't just talking about traveling to find ourselves anymore. We're all about doing the work to understand who we authentically are, breaking through our limiting beliefs, and taking the leaps to manifest lives we are excited about. Through interviews, solo episodes, and meditations, each episode is packed with practical tips, strategies, and inspiring stories from guests who have transformed their lives through solo travel. Whether you're a seasoned traveler or just starting out on your journey, the Travel Not to Escape podcast is here to inspire and empower you to solo travel with purpose. Strap on your helmet. We're about to jump headfirst into the journey of a lifetime. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, navigators, and welcome to the Travel Not to Escape podcast. This is episode 4. And today we're going to be answering a commonly asked question. And I've pulled this question from a Facebook group. And I see this all the time, whether that's on Facebook or Reddit or Instagram. There's a commonly asked question in general regarding solo travel. And that question is, how do you make friends while traveling, especially if you're not staying at hostels? So this is an exact question that was posted on a Facebook group that I found. And I want to read some of the comments that people had from this community, and then also share some of my thoughts on what they've commented. So again, the question is, it says, hi, how do you guys meet friends when traveling if you're not staying at hostels? There are over 200 comments here, so we're going to pick and choose some, and we'll dive into that. So the first one that I see here, and I'm just going to browse through and see ones that pop out to me. The first one says, join outdoor group activities like hiking. That one has a ton of likes on there. And I agree. I want to take this a step further, though, and say that, if you're not an outdoorsy person, this is probably not going to be a great way for you to meet someone. But this does prompt you to do some digging and some reflection into what activities do you enjoy doing. And I think that's a really important question in general in life, not even related to traveling, but what activities light you up? What sparks a fire within you? What makes you happy and feel like you're playing when you're doing them? And I think that regardless of that activity, it's going to be a great way to meet someone no matter what city you're in. So if you maybe don't love outdoor group activities, maybe you love art, go to an art class. If you love cooking, go to a cooking class. If you love laughing and maybe have a stage presence for it, or want to challenge yourself, you can also join a local comedy group, class, course, improv class. There's a few of those as well. So dive in deep within yourself and just ask what makes you feel alive, what makes you feel like you're having fun when you're doing it. And that's just a great way to base what activities you should do, especially when you're traveling. Find those activities in the travel destination. Okay, so we're going to go through, and I think the good strategy for this one is actually looking at the ones that are most liked, and we will read those off. So this one says, I met a few great people taking tours. When you are with the same people for a few hours, you tend to talk amongst each other and make friends. I've learned that most are too scared to start convos, so I usually break the ice by asking them to take my picture, and I can take theirs, and they start to open up and start talking while we can use them to take our pics at the same time. LOL. Uh, and then someone commented on here and says, take a tour run by a hostel. Otherwise, you'll just get stuck with couples all day. And then she replied, the original commenter replied, said, not necessarily true. I just came back from Iceland, and the entire tour that picked up random people from different hotels ended up being all single solo females, age 20 to 50, etc. Is a long comment. And then she replied, of course, it's not always like that, but hostels are full of singles, not couples, and hotels are full of couples, not singles. So to increase your chances of being around singles, you got to book where the singles book. Okay, I'm going to respond to this because, yes, it's valid. To take a tour. I think taking tours, free walking tours are actually my go-to, because people taking free walking tours are probably, at least a few of them will be solo travelers, and because they're solo, they're probably more likely to want to strike up a conversation. But I don't quite agree with a couple of these comments. So the first one is, if it's run by a hostel, you have to take into perspective, if she doesn't want to stay in a hostel, there's probably something about the hostel life that she wants to avoid, right? And a huge part of that is the fact that the people that stay in hostels tend to be younger. And so I'm 34. I'm not staying in a hostel, and I don't really want to meet people that are staying in hostels, because that age difference is wide, and it's not, age is just a number, yes, but also that comes with preference of lifestyle. And at this point, this age, I really don't party that much. I like to have more calmer activities that don't involve alcohol. I actually haven't drank in over 5 months. And so a lot of hostel activities do tend to be alcohol based. There are some fun ones, so I would pick and choose if that is something that interests you. But I think that if you're looking for people from hostels or hostel activities just because they're solo, I think that you'll still find that you might not connect with those particular individuals. As I mentioned earlier, it might be better to find classes and tours that are going to be of your interest, because no matter what age they are, if you love art and they're 20 or they're 50, you can talk about art, you can connect about that, and the conversation can be meaningful because you're both interested in that common subject. It's the same thing with sports, right? A lot of people bond over sports because they have the same sports team, and it could be whatever age. Like, I remember going to a football game in Germany, and to my left was like a 90-year-old woman cheering for the team, and there was also like a 10-year-old kid on the other side, and everyone was bonding with each other and hugging each other, and it was very emotional and very fun to see the connections. And I didn't even speak German, but you find that you will bond more over shared commonalities and activities than just age and whether or not someone is solo. And so if you're taking a tour specifically because it's run by hostel, and you think they're going to be more solo people staying at hostels, I would say that you might still not get the level of connection that you're looking for. Okay, that was a little bit long of a rebuttal from me. Someone had put, and this one has a ton of comments or likes on this one. They put, I don't, laughing emoji, I solo travel for a reason. And okay, so let's see. Let's read some of the more commonly interactive responses. So it says, I feel this way too. I engage in random casual conversation with locals and other travelers, but rarely plan to meet up with someone again. Yep, yes, same, same. I hide from people when I'm traveling. Sam, I enjoy my own company. Okay, so yes, there is this level where you should enjoy your own company. You should be comfortable doing anything and everything by yourself, and not just comfortable, like actually enjoy and love it, because you are a badass person, and anyone, especially yourself, should love spending time with you. But I think that this is fine for if you are, I don't know. We're humans, and humans need connection. And if you're isolating yourself, and if you're going for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you're only having random casual conversations with servers or people in the industry, or having quick conversations with the people right next to you in a coffee shop and bye, see you never, you start to feel isolated and alone. And I find that throughout my years of traveling, it's the connections that make or break a city for me. And it's what makes me feel whole, connected, rooted, especially while I'm traveling full time. So, if it's a quick trip, like I've also not met a ton of people and maybe just had some shallow conversations when I used to be traveling for business. Um, Quick trips are fine, but if you're doing this for longer or you're seeking a transformative experience, you have to be connected with other people. That is a part of the transformational journey. So, I don't entirely agree with just completely isolating and hiding from people when you're traveling. Um, Let's see. Let's look at another one that might be a little popular. Scrolling through Host a Sister. Oh, okay. I love this. So, Facebook groups are a phenomenal way to meet people. Like, I love them. I actually have created my own Facebook group called Travel Not to Escape, where we dive into some of these types of questions, and, really try to support you through your transformation. Um, Host a Sister is another group that I love because it's supportive and it's a bunch of women that if you need a place to stay in a particular city, you can post that and someone will likely help you. And it's if you've heard of couch server in the past, I never stayed with any couch surfers, surfer hosts because I was just always afraid for my safety because you are likely sleeping on a couch with a stranger and I don't know, it's just not for me. I ended up meeting a lot more people through Facebook groups, especially women Facebook groups, because I just had a greater level of trust with women, especially as a solo female traveler. So this one's a good one, Host a Sister. Or you can join my group as well, as we're building up our community. A few people on here mention Bumble, and Bumble does have a BFF option. So I have met some people through Bumble BFF. What I would recommend if you're going to use Bumble BFF, because sometimes people are flaky. Most times people are flaky, especially on Bumble BFF. And what you want to do, I search for filters, people that love to travel and people that are new to town because they're the ones that are like more excited and willing to meet up, and also search for people that have similar interests as you. So, for example, in the Philippines, I looked for people that were new to town and loved to salsa dance. And what I ended up doing was I matched with 4 girls. I created a WhatsApp group for all of us, and I found a local salsa class and restaurant that was hosting an event. I invited all of them to come. They invited more girlfriends, and it was a great time because there was no pressure to have to do just like a one-on-one, and so more people ended up coming and ended up having a great time with the people that came and making friendships with them. So if you're finding that Bumble BFF, you're like the same thing with dating apps, you're having a swipe left and right, and it's that same thing, but only with friendships. Try hosting your own event for something that you already want to do in that city, and then you just end up meeting a bunch of friends along the way. I wouldn't recommend that maybe if you're actually dating, or maybe I do. That could be a fun experiment to match with a bunch of people and invite them to a salsa event and kind of see, I guess, who has the best dance moves. But I've only experienced doing that through the BFF version. Okay, so let's scroll through a few more. Um, let's see. Couch surfing is mentioned. Connected through this site and arranged a meeting spot. Okay, yes. So back to Facebook groups. It's important that you make a post on a Facebook group and list what city that you're in and or going to be traveling to. And what I like to do in this particular post that I'm including for myself. One, include a photo of you. And in that photo of you, make sure it's female friendly. I find that there's a lot of photos that, might not even show your face. You're like super far away, or they might show more skin. Totally fine to have those photos. I love those photos, but if you're looking to make girlfriends, show one of you smiling, show one of you doing an activity that you want to do. So if you're salsa dancing, you can post a salsa dancing photo. If you like doing art, have a photo of you doing art, or of course, travel photos are great. But make sure that when you're posting, you post something that people, they want to be your friend, and they want to do things with you. So have them see that side of you when you're posting your photo. And then also include that in your post. So you can say, hey, I'm currently in Bali, so I'll use that. I'm going to be going to Bali. I love salsa dancing and trying different foodie spots and going on kayaking adventures. And this is actually something I've posted before. And I'm looking for recommendations on any of these. And if anyone also loves these things, definitely join along. And here's my way of contacting me, whether that's Instagram or Facebook, etc. So it's short. It tells people what you like to do and that you're open to meeting new people. And then it shows them a friendly face via photo of you so that they can see who they'll be doing this activity with. Had so much success with this type of post. Okay, so we're going to choose a couple of more comments and then we'll close this out. A few more people are posting similar things regarding Bumble, Host a Sister. Yoga or other classes, and then we eat afterwards. Always sit at the bar when you go out. Okay, love this comment because it's not necessarily yoga. It could be another class, as I mentioned. But if you want to transition between someone that you did an activity with because you both booked it together to someone that might be a friend, you want to have something planned for after that you can invite people to. And you might not end up having people to come with you, which is why I suggest you choose something that you want to go to regardless. So, say I took a yoga class like this person mentioned, and I look ahead of time at this yoga class and look at the restaurants or a cool coffee shop or something nearby that would be fun to go to afterwards. It's maybe a walking distance and popular. During the yoga class or right after or before, whenever you have the opportunity to connect with people, I would suggest, hey, if anyone is, hungry afterwards, I'm gonna go to this place. I booked some seats, or I know they won't be too crowded, or we can try a couple of different places if anyone wants to join. So I think it's always great to have a follow-up activity planned for yourself that you can then invite other people to, because that's just going to deepen that connection from a casual conversation that you had at a shared activity to maybe someone that is going to be a longer term, more meaningful friendship. Okay, we're going to do one last closing off response, and then let's see, I am going to choose one at random. People just start talking to me. It's harder for me to find alone time than to find people to hang out with. Traveling solo, private rooms. Okay, this one, we're going to close off with this one. People just start talking to me. I think this is a great one to close off with, because this is actually very common when you start diving into solo travel and you start to work on your internal self and become more magnetic to other people. You don't even have to put in a lot of effort into meeting a bunch of people, because you are doing the things that are open, and people start to be drawn and are attracted to you and introduce themselves to you. So one of those examples that I've seen for me, I went to a conference in Puerto Rico recently, and it was a rather intimidating conference because it was for female travel creators, and there was, I believe, like 500 or 600 people. But when I made a conscious decision to not be on my phone too much, to really try and stand tall and be open. I wore really bright and colorful dresses and earrings because I wanted to stand out, but I also smiled. I wasn't on my phone. I smiled. My energy was open to receive. And because of that, I met so many people because they introduced themselves to me. And I would run into multiple people over and over again throughout this conference. And after a few days, they would say, hey, like, I keep seeing you around and something about your energy is so magnetic. I had to say hi. And so I like this comment that someone put, because people just start talking to me. It's harder to find alone time than to find people to hang out with, because once you start doing that internal work, you realize that um, it is actually it switches. It becomes you want to carve out solo time, because there's just plenty of opportunities to connect with like-minded people. Um, so, we will get there in a different episode with diving in deep on connections, and I'm excited to dive in deeper on this topic. But I hope you enjoyed today's community question on how to make friends when traveling. If you have any other suggestions that I haven't read out from the comments today, or haven't discussed, or if you want to rebut any of the things that I mentioned or add on to it, I'm always open to learning more tips and tricks for connection, especially so I can share that with other people. So definitely post in the Facebook community, Travel Not to Escape, or DM me on Instagram at Travel Not to Escape, and let's continue the conversation. So hope to catch you on our next episode, and stay tuned for the next adventure. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Travel Not to Escape podcast. I hope you found our conversation inspiring and insightful. And if you're ready to take the next step in your journey of self-discovery through intentional travel, I invite you to join our vibrant and supportive community of solo female travelers over on Facebook. Inside our community, you'll find like-minded women from all walks of life sharing their stories, experiences, and tips on how to make travel a transformative part of your life. It's a safe space to ask questions, seek advice, and find inspiration. To become a part of this incredible community, simply search for Travel Not to Escape on Facebook groups, or you can click the link in the episode description. I can't wait to welcome you into our tribe of fearless travelers. Remember, your journey of self-discovery begins with that first step, so don't hesitate, join us today, and let's embark on this adventure together. Until next time, keep exploring, connecting, and playing, and safe travels, navigators.